Receptionists are like the gatekeeper of dealerships. They're usually the first touch point that a customer will have with your actual physical dealership. With that in mind, it's super important that we give the best first impression. And having a receptionist who's on top of things, organized and well prepared will definitely make that a lot easier. Unfortunately, I've seen so many dealerships where the receptionist just doesn't have or isn't using the tools necessary to give the best first impression to customers. For example, the customer walks in and the receptionist has to ask, who are you here to see? What are you here to do? Is it for service? Is it for sales? By using Activix properly, we'll avoid having to ask those questions. With the Who's Next module, we'll be able to avoid the question of who's available, who's with a customer, and things like that. In this video, I'll show you the ultimate quick start guide for receptionists. This is Quick Tips with Activix. Before we begin, don't forget to hit like if you like this kind of video, leave us a comment down below, and of course, subscribe if you want to see more content just like this. The primordial question that I have to ask you before we get into the meat of this video is, what does your receptionist do? Now, the reason why I ask this is that it obviously varies a lot from dealership to dealership. Things like, does your receptionist log walk-ins? Do they create customers? Do they manage the Who's Next module? Do they mark appointments as visited or no-show, for example? All of these questions must be addressed beforehand. And in this video, we'll go over step by step all of those modules and sections, which you can use the chapters down below if they don't apply to you. So if you don't have the Who's Next module, just go ahead and skip that section in this video. I'm also going to assume in this video that the receptionist has already seen the basic flow. So if they're to create customers, we already have a video on that. So I won't be going over that again. But you can watch that video, click on your initials or picture, hit training, and then follow that course on creating a customer, logging walk-ins, things like that to get the basics down. So once your receptionist has the basics, it's time to get into the specifics of the role. The ultimate tool for a receptionist is the calendar. The Activix calendar is a global calendar that encompasses everything you gotta do at your dealerships. Appointments, deliveries, all of that can be in one specific place for a receptionist. So to get started, you're simply gonna go into your calendar. Then in the filter, you're going to set what you wanna see in this calendar. Here, you'll choose for the event types, appointments, deliveries, and other. This is typically the 3 types of tasks that receptionists will wanna see right away. That way, if there's a delivery plan for 2 o'clock, me as a receptionist, I'll be able to instantly see that appointment and greet the customer accurately and give them an amazing hotel-like experience. Hello, Mrs. Johnson, you're here for your 2 o'clock delivery. Fantastic, we'll get Mark out to see you right away. It's truly the best way to stay organized is having access to this view. Even better, you can change this view to an agenda by clicking here. Now that you have the view set, you can save it in your views so that you as a receptionist will always be able to access it again. Go ahead and hit the diskette icon and name it, and then set it to the current day. From this calendar, you can actually complete appointments as well. If the receptionist's job is to mark customers as visited, then just go ahead and click on the appointment, check off visited, and you're good to go. The appointment has been marked visited, and the sales rep will continue the process at their desk, assuming. Now, I strongly recommend keeping the calendar open at all times. We have receptionists who have gotten a second screen just to be able to keep the calendar open at all times and be on top of everything that comes into the dealership. That way, if you're doing things like creating customers in Activix as well, you keep one screen for Activix, creating customers, the other with the calendar. Just to touch quickly on the subject of creating customers, since we're there, if you do create a customer, just remember to attribute the lead to the person who's gonna be taking this customer. Up next, we have managing existing customers. Let's say a customer calls in and wants to speak to Mark the salesman, but Mark isn't available on that day. Well, you simply go find the customer's card and leave Mark a note in the customer file. You can even here tag Mark or anyone else who this comment applies to, and they'll receive a notification on their end. Next, we have the phone up. I'm not gonna go over all the details of the phone up module. I'm gonna go over the most common case and what a receptionist almost always has to do in that case. The phone up module can vary a lot from dealership to dealership, so we'll just go over the basics here. Now, for a new customer, you'll transfer them to the relevant phone number. This is typically sales, new, and/or used. Then the lead will be automatically created and assigned to the user that picks up the phone. If nobody has picked up the phone, what happens is the call will go through the loop and then come back to you. You'll actually get a message that says the call went through the loop and nobody picked up. it's super important to not send them back through the flow. So if you send a customer in the loop a second time, all kinds of technical issues can arise with call quality and duplicates and echo and things like that. So it's super important that you only send them through once. If nobody picked up the phone the first time and you hear that message, just go ahead and take a note down, write down the customer's name, whatever, just make sure you don't send them through again. This is only for new phone opportunities. If a customer has already spoken to somebody and they explicitly name somebody at the dealership, or they explicitly name that they've been there before and they've spoken to somebody, there's no need to go through the call flow. This is only for new opportunities. If we send the call to the call flow, what will end up happening is we'll create duplicate customers for opportunities that are already in the CRM. So if the person is unsure or they don't remember who they talked to, ask them for their name, their phone number, their email, and search them in the CRM. If they're already there and it's a relatively recent customer, just go ahead and put a note in that file like we saw before. Finally, we have the Who's Next module. The Who's Next module helps you stay on top of whose turn it is to manage customers. Usually the receptionist will be the one managing this module. How do you go about that? So you open up the Who's Next module, and this is your list of everybody who's available to take customers today. If somebody's not on the list, it's because they didn't punch in. So let them or their supervisor know that they haven't entered the list. Whoever is on top, it is their turn to take a customer. You can then click on this icon to basically lock this person into this walk-in. They'll go down to the list, and the next person will not only go to the top of the list, but will also be advised that it's their turn to answer a customer. Then the person at the bottom who is now with a customer, to be able to go back into the list, will have to create a customer. So they're gonna automatically have no choice but to respect the next up flow. There's all kinds of awesome things that we can see and do from the Who's Next module. For example, if you have your global calendar open and you see that Mark has an appointment at 1 p.m. and this customer is coming in for their appointment, you can click on the planned appointment button. And Mark will not only take this appointment, but depending how the account is set up, this won't take his turn in the Who's Next module. He'll stay at the top depending on the account settings. You can also mark when a person is on break. If they're on break, go ahead and click here. Usually the person who goes on break or on lunch or whatever will mention this to the receptionist that they're going on break. You click it off, they don't lose their turn, they come back. Finally, as a receptionist, if it's your job to punch in users into the Who's Next module, simply drag and drop their name directly into the Who's Next module at the time they arrive. Usually in the morning or whenever the shifts change, the person will come and see the receptionist and say, I'm ready to take customers, and they'll be automatically added to the bottom of the list. That's really all the basics to using Activix as a receptionist. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave us a comment down below, or of course, call our tech support at any time to get the help that you need. Leave us a like if you like this kind of video, and of course, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.